There's no need to hide, darling. You're not in any danger here. Please. I saw your fin breach when you first entered my little cave. If I was any danger to you, I would have acted already. Thank you, dear. It's an honor to put a lovely face to such a similarly lovely tail. May I put a name to it as well? And why may I not, little one? Oh, your father told you not to, did he? Did your father not also tell you to never enter this cave? To give it a blue whale's birth, and to never look deeply inside? Did he not tell you to never listen to them? What would his words have been? The demon that resides in it? The witch? Am I close? Oh, I've heard it all before, darling. Rumors spread across every sea. But really, do I seem all that bad? I may be a little monstrous at present, but I like to think I've kept every ounce of my civility. Just something to think about, dear. You don't have to give me a name if the thought worries you. Very well, then. May I ask, then, why are you here? Oh, it's all right. Take your time. What brings you to my cave? Yes, darling. That's it. What do you want help with? A curse? Now that's a very interesting thing to need, isn't it? But sadly I couldn't give you any help with that. I'm rather stuck with my own at the moment. Oh, not a curse like mine. Well then, what sort of curse, sweetling? Ah, now it's all the clearer. And yes, my little lordling, for help with that you've come to exactly the right place. What has you so frightened, darling? Of course I called you lordling. Would you prefer highness? I'd be remiss if I neglected to give you the proper respect your status earns. However, if it distresses you so, I can drop such formalities. Don't be worried about that, darling. I'm rather clever when I want to be, and you look just like your mother, rest her soul. Is this news to you, oh sweet little lordling, that I knew your mother? I see. Tell me, little one, what exactly did your father teach you of me? And here I thought the king would rise above the rumors. I suppose that was expecting too much of him, wasn't it? Pardon that statement, your highness. I'm just saddened to learn your father has neglected to keep our history. Let us backstroke a thought. I knew your family very well, and if you are here looking for me, then I know exactly what your curse entails. I can help, and I'm sorry if my minor deductions startled you. I can't help it these days. Now, with that settled, may I continue to call you lordling, or would you rather give me that name? Well stated. Your father must be proud of you to keep your boundaries so well. It's an admirable trait for a future ruler. Right, the subject at hand. Brace yourself on the rock line here, if you please. We might be a moment. So, you're having certain issues, I take it? That your father is calling a curse, is that right? Do you think it's a curse, lordling? And do you hold your tongue to consider? When diagnosing magic like this, your insight is priceless. Would you describe your circumstance as cursed? Oh, it's all right to answer truthfully, my dear. Your father isn't here to reprimand. Do you, in your heart, think that stirring water and healing fish is truly a curse? Oh, just lucky guesses, little lordling. I told you, I'm quite clever when I so choose. And in truth, I already know the, let us say, correct answer to this little query. It's just important to me to find out if you agree. So, I'm glad you can see your power for what it truly is, my little lordling. That's the first step towards getting what you want. Understanding your situation. Now, are you ready to take the second? Simple, darling. Tell me what exactly it is that you want. I'll have to stop you right there, lordling. I can't help you if you aren't honest with me. Or honest with yourself in this case. But you're not being honest, are you? Not truly. You've confused what you want with what your father tells you you want. Think of it this way. If you truly feel you aren't cursed, if you understand that what you're doing isn't hurting anyone or anything, rather the opposite, I'd point out, then why would you want me to help you rid yourself of it? Why would you want me to take away what you have? The answer is staring you in the gills, sweetling. I would wager you've known the answer long before you swam into my cave too. But you feel asserting it would be brash, unfair to those around you. Isn't that right? Then say it with me, little one. Be the big, strong royal I know you can be. The reason you want to hide, to remove, to suppress your power, isn't because of your own feelings, because of theirs. Deep breaths, darling. I know exactly how you feel. You know what you're saying. Between the margins, you know that to admit your feelings is to accuse your family, your people, and your father of being less than fair to you. That isn't any reason to deny it. Not when you're here with me. Hold tight to the rock, little lordling. These words will be harsh, but they are true, and they're a necessary step to getting what you truly want. The people around you, from your servants all the way to the king himself, are weary, and they're weary of you, scared even. And that hurts you, doesn't it? After all, you've never done anything wrong. Never raised a fin or fist against them. Yet they fear you. A deep, primal fear that eats at them whenever you're in the room. I remember it well, lordling. The pain of watching everyone you love flinch when you reach out, realizing that your peers edge just barely out of your reach when they speak to you. Noticing the looks they give you when they're unhappy, as if they're afraid you'll take it out on them. The little nips at your heart that never get any better, I can assure you that. They fester and scar until you crack. Now take another deep breath. And say what you really want. Tell me what is at the core of your desires, and then let me decide on a course of action. There we go. You just want them to like you. Never have truer words been spoken, little lordling. You want the fear to stop. You want them to treat you normally. You want them to stop hating you. Is that right? Now, if all you want is their behaviors to change, we don't need anything as drastic as a binding or, depths forbid, a removal of your power. No. All you must do is prove to them you aren't a danger. Honesty, darling, it's a shame you have to make a change at all. It's them who have the problem, not you. But even if we understand that, they clearly don't. So instead of allowing them to bridge the gap, we can. And, if you're prudent, all that it will cost you is some time. Well, my darling princeling, if they're scared of your power, all you must do to quell their fear is show them that you, sweet, lovable you, can keep yourself in check. They aren't afraid of the crowned heir. They're afraid of what they believe is attached to you. So, if you were in control, and you could prove to all of them that you were in control, then from where would their fear stem? But in this lies the issue, darling. To control you must understand, to understand you must learn, and to learn, unless you'd like to cause much more fear experimenting, you must be taught. It's sad to say, but I cannot teach you. No more than the basics, at least. This monstrous form is truly a curse. A magical incantation, sabotaged by your father, of all people, to turn me into this. No, darling. I hold no ill will. He was scared. He had no choice but to be scared. It is in his nature. He's a fearful creature. The problem is not that I hold some grudge against him, and therefore won't help you. The problem is that I can't. In this form, I cannot touch the water. I cannot connect with the ancient waves and the old tides that supply us our strength. And if I cannot use our power, then all I could teach you is empty habits and minor tips. Yes, knowing where to place your arms and what words to speak would help, but without feeling the magic, without having a mentor whisper the very seas into your ears, it'd take decades before you made enough progress to rid the others of their fears. Oh, don't give in to despair just yet, my little lordling. A remedy rests at your fingertips. You, my darling, with your father's blood and your own strength, could lift my curse. With your current inexperience, permanent reprieve is impossible. But a temporary lifting is well within your ability, I believe. If you would trust me to care for you, I would do my best to teach you how to push away my curse. From there I could re-enter the water and begin your true lessons. And when we're done, you would simply release your efforts and allow the curse to fall back to my shoulders. I promise that you would study well, and one day free me will be more than enough payment for my expertise, and to, well, lighten my heart. I know we have not known each other long, but I have been waiting for you since before I was cursed, sweet one. Since a time when your father and I were young, and I walked the palace grounds freely. A time when your mother had a magical little guppy swimming inside her. And now you're here before me, all grown up, and yet still so sheltered, so kept by your father. Please, my little lordling, push the idle rumors out of your mind. Let me help you, help yourself. Thank you, darling. I promise you won't regret this for a moment. If you could, I need you to get up out of the water with me. That's a good little princeling. Come here. Come close. And don't worry about dripping onto me. I'll manage. Can you remember a time you used your power? One specific instance. That would do nicely. I want you to recall every detail the best you can. The water flowing around you, the light shining through the waves. All of it. Don't worry about the things that don't matter to painting the picture. Details you normally wouldn't recall aren't necessary. We just need the core of what you believe this memory contains. Do you have it? Wonderful. Now, just briefly compare that memory to something mundane. Say, your dinner last night, or the swim here. A time when you didn't use your power. Look between the two in your mind's eye. Yes, there are plenty of differences between the two memories. But notice the one thing that truly matters. The feeling that permeates the first but not the second. The pull that draws on you. Almost like the tide itself. Focus on that feeling. That is what magic feels like. Even now, long divorced from the experience, it still rings clear in your memory. Hang on to it, lordling. One day you'll be able to focus on that feeling in its most pure and refined form. Just like you could focus on the feeling of clothing against your scales. But until then, recalling a time when it was blatantly obvious will have the same effect. Now that you have your grip, release all other aspects of the memory. What you are doing then is over, but what you're doing now is real. Pull that feeling out of the memory and impose it on the present. You'll know you've succeeded when you can open your eyes, focus on me, and still feel the magic. Very good, my little lordling. You're a natural. Now is where the minutiae of spellcasting comes in. Normally you would have to focus your will into reality. The gifted few of us that usually do that via command or action. Something you can focus yourself into, a sort of a mnemonic device. The set of words or gestures that work for me may work for you, or they may not. It would depend on your belief that they would work, and your will to see them through. But I'm rambling, my sweetling. This curse is not like that. Your blood gives you a unique bond here, and I can do the guiding. All you must consciously supply is the will. Exert your power into reality, and force my curse away from me. I know it's not intuitive yet, darling, but I promise you can do it. As I said, for this instance, we only need you to have the want, the raw determination. Then I will shape it for you. But if it would help, I could describe to you how I would go about gathering the strength. I'd tie it to something simple. A mental push, perhaps even a physical push if necessary. I'd imagine some sort of shadowy stand-in or parasite to serve as my curse. Then push it away from my target. Focus, my little lordling. You can do this. You have everything you need. You're so close. Here, give me your hands. I know I'm rather slimy these days. Not much choice with these tentacles. But you should be able to press right here, against my chest, my physical and spiritual center, where my curse most literally resides. Push against me and my curse as hard as you can. Yes, darling, push. You're almost there. I can take it, lordling. This form is certainly big enough to handle your roughest. Focused everything, and make one final push. Perfect. Quickly now, into the water. My apologies. You did it, lordling. For what I imagine was the first time, you took your power by the fin and consciously, specifically allowed it to flow exactly where you chose. That is control, my sweet lord. That is how you can achieve anything you want. I'm glad to hear that, darling. But now is a moment to relax. Now that I'm in the water, I'll carry the brunt of the weight in holding my curse at bay. As long as you refrain from letting that magical feeling entirely slip, I'll do the rest. Can you feel it? How little you need to keep your part of the magic flowing. It's as easy as mindlessly swimming, right? That's very good, Prince. You're clearly well attuned to the seas, and the clarity you possess makes it all the easier. When we push on to greater feats, you may find your focus, or even your actual magical reserves stretched. But for now, just let it flow, like a tidal current. Allow its movement to become second nature. While you get into that, I'd like to admire myself for a moment. It has been so long since I've had my body, and I admit I won't be happy to see it go when we're done here. My scales have lost a touch of their shine, I see. Unfortunate, but not unexpected. But I didn't foresee my tail thickening from atrophy. Do you think my figure would still fit in amongst a royal bowl? Not sure I could squeeze on any of my old rings. Then again, I do recall a burgeoning trend towards, let us say, ample flesh, when I was last in participation. I'll take your stammering blush to confirm that the trend has in fact grown. Tell me, Princeling, am I your type? Oh, now I've gone and done it, you look like you may just burst from the embarrassment. But I must ask you to calm yourself. The rather small sliver of focus I need from you is slipping, and I'd rather not transform back underwater. Please do try to contain yourself, my lordling. But I'd help, but I imagine the last thing you need is to be closer to my regained figure. That was a push too far, wasn't it? I can practically feel the curse encroaching back onto me. Darling, you're spiraling. I'm going to have to help you calm down. Please, look into my eyes. Allow me to connect the two of us. Good. Good little lordling. Now just let me calm you. Let me feed tranquility into your mind, like a reef around a coast. Let me hold you steady. Just listen to my voice and be calm. You're feeling very fatigued, not active, not flustered, tired. Holding my curse back was more exhausting than you realize. You want to relax, you want to be calm, and I can help you with that. Just listen to my voice. You don't need to look at my eyes anymore. You need to listen. Let your other senses blur. Stare at my scales as they glint off the sunlight, refracted through the water. Don't pick out specifics. Just absorb and listen. You can't really see anything. You can't really feel anything. But you can hear me perfectly well. Listen to my voice. Stay calm. Listen. That's much better, my darling lord. You're calm. You're ready. You're listening. You're perfect. Let's stay like this a little longer. Would you allow me that, lordling? Let me speak, and let yourself listen, until we're both positively blissful. Of course you would, because you're such a darling little thing. Not quite as little, now that I'm not quite as big, but still the same in many ways. Small, tender, in need of care, desperate for love. I'm ready to give you that, my sweet little lordling. I'm more than willing to be everything they never were. All you have to do is listen. Listen as I speak, and we both get exactly what we want. You never deserved what they gave you, and that's not what you wanted. The mistrust, the doubt, the fear. I've never feared you, darling. You listened. You know that. I'm not scared of you, and soon they won't be either. You'll have it all. My guidance, their love, the throne, everything. I'll show it to you. I'll give it to you. All you have to do is listen. We'll make you so strong, so smart. We'll make you better than perfect, better than you already are. Not harsher, not faster or harder than you can handle. Just exactly right, just perfect, if you listen. I'll always be here, Princeling. And so will you. Together, I'll know what you need, because you'll tell me, you'll speak, and I'll listen. And if the words are ever too big, I'll take it back. I'll speak to you, and I'll look into your eyes, and I'll connect us, and then I'll let our magic intertwine, and then I'll know, and then you'll listen, and we'll be perfect. Then someday, when you understand, when you listen, when you have everything you want, you'll break my curse. I'll tell you how, and you'll listen. You'll undo what your father corrupted onto me, and we'll swim to the palace together, and you'll be ready. He'll see that. We will help him see that. We will help him listen. Just like you listen to my words, just like I listen to the words you can't say. You'll be ready for the throne, with me at your side, hoping you have it all, hoping you have everything you want, hoping you listen, hoping you understand. No one will fear you. They'll all treat you just like I do, with respect, with care, like they should, like a lord. They'll listen to what you say, or listen to what you say. You'll have it all, if you listen. Now, if you let my words guide you, if you do what I say, you'll get what you want. And when you get what you want, you'll want more. And I'll give you more. If you listen, more. Listen to everything I say and get everything you want. I'll help you listen. Right here, right now. Just like my magic helps you listen, just like my eyes help you listen, just like my soft, warm embrace helps you listen. Right here, right now, I'll reach into that darling little head, and I'll help you listen. I'll draw out every scar they put in you. I'll help you get what you want. I'll help you be perfect. Right here, right now. Just listen. Listen to my voice, and let me slip past your mind. You're everything I wanted, little lordling. All I want is you. All I want is to give you what you want. All I want is for you to listen, so I can give you what you want. Do you understand that, darling? Answer me, sweet one. Speak, and I'll listen. Do you want me to teach you? Do you want me to help you listen? Do you want to have everything you've ever desired? Again, lordling, say it again. Good guppy. My perfect darling guppy, my wonderful princeling. I love you, sweet one, more than any of them ever will, more than any of them ever have, because you listen, because you're perfect. I want you to get better. I want you to have everything. So I'll ask you to listen, as long as you want to get better. You want to have everything, so you'll listen. It's perfect, as long as we're together, as long as you listen. You'll have my love. You'll have everything. Soon, lordling, If you listen now, you'll have everything you ever wanted. Very, very soon. But for now, we have work to do. We have things to learn together. So it's time for you to listen. Time for you to dive deep down into my voice and let me help you. Can you do that for me, my lordling? I'm going to count down to 0, and when I say 0, you'll listen. You'll listen so perfectly and so completely that you won't even hear what I'm saying. Your mind will slip, and your heart will receive. You'll listen more than you could ever know, and I'll help you. I'll take away those scars. I'll make you perfect. That's what you want, right? Then listen. 5. Let my voice envelop you and listen. 4. Don't look, don't feel, just listen. 3. Let my magic penetrate you. Let it help you listen. 2. Let me give you what you want. 1. Listen to me, lordling, and sleep. 0. Lordling, darling, as cute as you look, you can't nap the whole day away, little one. That's it. Open your eyes. Breathe through your lungs, not your gills. We're back on the surface, out of the water. You fell asleep and the curse slipped its way back to me. I suppose the initial push took more out of you than we thought. Oh, no, darling, it's no problem. There's nothing we can't fix. We'll just make sure you've had a big meal and a nice nap before we start our lessons. I'm sure you can incorporate that into your days before you return here. Yes, sweet lordling. Return. It's getting rather late, and you've been asleep for some time, and I'm sure that the entire palace is starting to get nervous. It's about time you head home. I assure you, darling, it'll be no issue. You'll return soon enough, whether tomorrow or not, and I'll be waiting here, waiting patiently, because I care for you, dear. I know you haven't been shown much, but this is how people act when they don't fear you. They're willing to wait, however long it takes. When someone loves you as much as I do, they don't need nor want for anything more. You're blushing again, little lordling. I take it you weren't well prepared for this vile creature to show you this sort of attention. Adorable little thing you are. I'll be counting the seconds to your return, darling. But it is time for you to leave. Roll on back to the water. I won't keep you much longer. Good guppy. But just one more thing before you go. It'll be quick, I promise. Would you look at me, darling? And now, look right over there at the cave's wall. Just to your left. Now be right on your way, darling, before your cheeks burst scarlet. Until next time, my darling, I'm so glad we could talk and listen.